Good evening. Good evening. Thank you all for joining us here at the College of Sequoias Porter Fieldhouse, and welcome to the COS Hall of Fame. My name is Tim Foster, and I'm fortunate enough to be your director of the COS Foundation, the host agency for this event, and I will be emceeing for tonight. We have a fascinating group, they're fascinating too, but we have a fantastic group of COS Foundation board members that help guide the activities of the COS Foundation. And I happen to have our foundation board president here tonight, Miss Alexis Silvera, and I'd ask her to come up and say a few words of welcome and about this evening. Alexis?
Good evening and welcome. As Tim said, my name is Alexis Silvera, and I am proud to represent the COS Foundation Board of Directors. The COS Hall of Fame was established in 1987 to recognize distinguished staff and alumni. We are excited that this event is returning for the first time since 2019. This evening is about celebrating the community behind the college and honoring our 3 new inductees. We hope you all enjoy yourselves. Thank you for attending and your continued support. I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much, Alexis. She is great. She gives so much of her time and talent to our organization. It's been a great partnership. The COS Foundation, hey, we created the Hall of Fame the first year after the COS Foundation was created back in 1986. In your programs, you'll find a list of all the COS members of the COS Hall of Fame and the year in which they were inducted into the Hall of Fame. I noticed more than a few Hall of Fame members here in the crowd with us. So I would ask if all of you that are inducted into the COS Hall of Fame, if you could please just wave your hand and show us those folks in the room. There we go. Yeah, quite a few. Thank you, Hall of Famers, for being such pillars in our community and representing the College of Sequoias so well for all these years. We really appreciate you. And we're going to have some folks join you now. And so I'm going to get started with our first induction. Our first induction this evening is someone who has touched so many lives through his 32 years here at COS. Nominating Coach David Bronzan is a former runner of his, Josh McDonald, and the current athletics director, Brent Davis. Incidentally, who in this room ran for Coach Bronzan? Show me your hands. Look at all those hands. Oh my goodness. Wow, Coach. That's wonderful. Well, Josh and Brent produced a brief video speaking about Coach Bronzan and his record and the impact he had on the running community. So let's watch that now.
Hi, my name's Josh McDonald. I am the Assistant City Manager for the City of Tulare. I'm also Vice President of the Board of Directors of the College of the Sequoias Foundation. Most importantly, I'm a College of the Sequoias alum and a former athlete for Coach David Bronzan. Coach Bronzan is a legend in the Central Valley cross-country and track and field community. He's a local guy. He attended Mount Whitney High School and College of the Sequoias and was a very good runner who moved on to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo and had a very successful career there as well. So successful that ultimately he did make it to the United States Olympic trials in the marathon. After his running career was over, he began coaching. And in 1986, he joined College of the Sequoias as the head cross-country and assistant track and field coach, replacing another legend, Joe Barba.
Hi, my name is Brent Davis, and I'm the current athletic director here at College of the Sequoias. It was my pleasure to work with Coach Bronzan when I got hired in 2013 until his retirement in 2018. He's been a mentor to me and just a phenomenal friend and supporter of not just the athletic department or the cross-country program, but just the entire college itself.
Coach has had a ridiculous amount of success in his legendary cross-country and track career. He has coached many NorCal champions, state champions, and he's coached many students on to later successful four-year collegiate careers, even in Division I.
During those 32 years, he was named the NorCal Coach of the Year 6 times and was also named the Coach of the Year for the state 6 times as well.
He's already a member of the California Community College Coaches Association for Cross Country and Track and Field Hall of Fame.
27 times he won a conference championship. 27. Some people go a whole career without winning one. So on the men's side for cross country, there were 15 times they finished in the top 4 in the NorCal championships. And on the women's side, 8 times the women finished in the top 4 in the NorCal championships. His best state performance was the women finished 2nd, and one time the men finished 3rd. If you add up all his championships and individual titles, and again, he would never discuss it because he's so humble, but what an unbelievable career.
But his successes and wins weren't what make him a legend. We all know Coach Bronzan for the human being that he is. The care that he showed, the time that he took, the money he spent from his own pocket, the tremendous influence that he had on a tremendous number of young men and women over the years are truly what have made him a legend.
Coach Bronzan was so in tune with every student athlete that he trained. It didn't matter if they were our best runner or the person that was bringing up the tail end for us. He was passionate about trying to get that person to improve their time. And he would go back and look at different logs, see how they were trained, when they were cutting time, and he was putting a plan together for everybody to see how they could improve. And I think that's what makes Coach Bronzan special.
Coach Bronzan, I am so grateful for the time and effort that you put into making myself and all of my teammates better human beings. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Coach Bronzan, just congratulations. What a storied career that you had, and thank you for everything that you continue to do for the college, and welcome to the COS Hall of Fame.
That is wonderful. Well, if I could have Coach Bronzan and Brent Davis and Josh McDonald please come up here so we can kind of do the award presentation. I also want to let everyone know that our great Board of Supervisors of Tulare County presented us all 3 of our inductees with a certificate of recognition, so we'll be providing that as well. So Coach, if you can kind of up here for a quick photograph, and we'll give you a chance to say a few words as too, Coach. There you are, sir. We'll stand you in front here. We'll kind of come up to the edge here. You get in the middle, buddy. Yeah. Okay. That'll work. That'll work.
I thank you all for being here. I'd like to especially thank my athletes. Back in 1962, when I was a sophomore in high school, I ran my first long distance race. It was a 12-miler out at Mooney's Grove. It was 3 loops of 4 miles. There were about 25 runners in the race. I took off fast, and I asked the guy next to me, "Where is everybody?" This was after about a half a mile. And he said, "Don't worry, they'll come." And they did. After 2 loops, I was in second to last place. And I thought, well, at least I'm not going to get last. In the last loop, 4 miles, the guy passed me that was behind me, and when we finished, I couldn't even see him. I was dead last. And I was feeling pretty bad about it. And I was standing off by myself, and a man came up to me and started consulting me and talking to me and encouraging me. And he said, I'm going to watch your progress. You're going to get better. Just keep working at it. And at the time, I didn't really even know who he was. And afterward, I asked somebody, who was that? And they said, that was Coach Joe Barber from the College of Sequoias. And I couldn't believe it. A college coach talking to me when I just ran awful. Well, 3 years later, I had the privilege of running for Joe Barber, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. He was a tremendous man. He took a 441 miler in high school. I was actually our fourth miler on the team at Mount Whitney. And 2 years later, after I got to COS, I was the school record holder at 418. That made it possible for me to go on to a 4-year level. That started it all. My question to you is, how is a guy that runs so bad at a young age end up here? Well, it's the people I got to know through running. It's the coaches I got to know. And I'd like to just mention a couple of them. I've got to tell you, I wrote a speech. In fact, I wrote it about 4 times. And too many people here at the college know that I can't talk for 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. I have to talk longer, so I'll try to speed this up. While I was here coaching at the College of Sequoias, I had some outstanding people to work with. The athletic directors there, when they considered me for the coaching job, I went to see Dave Adams, who was our athletic director, and spoke to him. I explained I wanted the job. I'd already talked to Joe Barber. He said I should go for it. I talked to my wife. She said, why don't you try it for a semester? And after talking to Dave Adams, I somehow got the job. And I've always wanted to thank him for the faith he had in me. At the time, I was 38 years old, and I'd never coached anywhere. And he gave me a chance. 32 years later, I can tell you it was one of the greatest experiences of my life, being associated with the college as a coach and coaching the athletes that I got to coach. Other athletic directors I had, Al Branco, heck, he's got a football field named after him. Brent Calvin, he was the athletic director here that I worked with. And I'm not sure whatever happened to him, but he went on somewhere. Actually, he's the president of our college. And currently, Brent Davis is the athletic director, and I got to work with him. It's been a tremendous experience. Probably the best thing that ever happened to me was in 1974, I married my wife. Oh, she just turned up and she says, has it been that long? It's the best thing that ever happened to me. She's been the foundation for me for all those years. In fact, this year we're going to celebrate our 50th anniversary. For the team, for the team, she was kind of our team mother. She cooked meals for the guys that were living in apartments, the McFarland guys. She did set up our website and maintained it. I even gave her the job of driving sick guys to meets. We went up to NorCal one time in Arcata, and one of the guys on the team was sick. We drove up there 9 hours in a van. We won the NorCal championships, and the next week was the state meet, and when we got back, and on Tuesday, about everybody was sick. And so after that, I made it a practice. If we had somebody sick, Donna got to drive them to the meet. So keep everybody else healthy. The thing I'm most proud about our marriage is my 2 sons. Jeff, raise your hand. Curtis, what they've achieved professionally and what good fathers they're being. Better fathers than I was, because I was gone to meets too often. And also here is one of my granddaughters, Lindsay. Wave your hand, stand up, do something. I'd also like to thank a friend I've had since high school, Don Chapin. He was our school record holder here at COS. He was also school record holder at Mount Whitney. But he's been with me ever since, giving advice, giving suggestions, helping me. And also another Don Gregory, who's my cardiologist. And without him, I wouldn't be here, and I probably wouldn't be anywhere else either. So, tremendous man. Larry Gonzalez. Where's Larry? He's from Exeter. He gets the title of one of our greatest recruiters. He got a number of very good runners from Exeter to come COS, including his son and his daughter, who are both NorCal champions. And the last person I'd like to introduce is David Sanchez. David, where are you at? He's right back there. He's our current cross-country and track distance coach. He was a a state champion, 10,000 meters when he was here. Also took third in the 1,500, or second in the 1,500, and third in the 5,000. An outstanding runner. The main last people I'd like to introduce is any current or former COS cross-country runners. Please stand up. You can talk all you want about how good a coach was or whatever, but if you don't have the athletes, you don't do much. And these people worked extremely hard. I put them through some awful things, but it worked. It worked. They great results. I appreciate this award very much. The thrill for me is not only the award, but getting to see some of the people that are here tonight. I've seen a couple athletes that are here. I haven't seen for 30 years. They were main cogs of our program. So I thank you very much for this honor. Support the foundation. It does terrific things for this college. It supports athletics. It supports all of the departments. And so keep supporting them. And this is a night I will never, never, ever forget. Thank you. I apologize to you. That was supposed to be a 5-minute speech, so if it's late tonight, it's because of me.
Here you go. Take this, Coach. Coach, you did great. You did absolutely great. Thank you so much. I appreciate the endorsement for the foundation too, sir. What a wonderful guy. Well, we are going to move on to our next inductee, and that's Brian Sheesley. Yeah. Well, we just kind of completed entertainment awards season. If your household is anything like ours, we were watching every one of them, especially the red carpets. That was my daughter's most important part of it. Our next inductee, he's been recognized at these award ceremonies and has made quite a name for himself in the industry. He will tell you how his experience with the COS art professor and the late Ralph Holman helped shape his trajectory in his career. Professor Holman's wife, Nancy, nominated Brian. She made a brief video about Brian's career and the relationship that they all have. And so I want to give you Miss Nancy's video.
Hello, I'm Nancy Morris Holman. I nominated Brian for the COS Hall of Fame. I nominated Brian because I love him. It's as simple as that. I will not be listing all of Brian's accomplishments in this short video because you have his biography in the program that the COS Foundation created for tonight's event. Instead, my hope is that you will meet his soul, his kindness, his big heart through the stories that I tell you. Brian was a student here in 86, 87, and 88. My husband, Ralph Holman, was his teacher at that time. As years went on, we became friends and later family. Brian has earned 6 Emmys. 6 Emmys. That's a big deal. He started his career even before he graduated from Cal Arts. His first job was with Steven Spielberg and Tim Burton, and his current job is with Netflix since 2021. He is the co-executive producer in adult animation.
Live next door, which means I'm your neighbor.
Salt him, Dwight! And he's currently working on a thing called Exploding Kittens. The first Emmy was in 2006 when Brian was with the Cartoon Network as a director. He phoned all of us. He was so excited, and we were delirious. And then he won his second Emmy. His big heart, his kindness, his soul became evident when he and Joni invited the 3 teachers from Visalia that meant the most to him, along with his parents, Jean and Anna Sheesley, to dinner at the Vintage Press. He brought those 2 Emmys for all of us to see. Those things are big and they're heavy. They're really cool. He told each teacher the impact they had on his life. He praised them, he thanked them, he honored them. Those teachers are Del Alt from Green Acres Junior High, Ron Lloyd, Mount Whitney Gate Program, and Ralph Holman, COS Art Department. Time passed, 2 decades or more, as Brian continued to be successful, earning 4 more Emmys. 4 more Emmys. A big deal. All the while, he and Joni raised their daughters, Samantha and Jenna. Brian continued to stay connected to those 3 teachers. And as each of them passed, he honored them again by speaking at their celebrations of life. In September of 2018, Ralph was given a retrospective of Meet the Master Artist in San Luis Obispo. Brian, Joni, and Jenna came to that, and Brian brought this. I want you to see it because it's really cool. He brought this. It's really the size of this photo, but it is an illustration from an animated series of books that was on the New York Times best-selling list for 3 years. And you can see here, these 2 were having so much fun. They really loved each other. In November of 2018, Ralph died. In March of 2019, Brian phoned me and he said, "I've cleared my desk for 3 days. I'm coming to Pismo Beach. I'm gonna be at your house before the celebration of life so that I can do whatever you need." His big heart, his kindness, his soul is what guides him in every decision he makes. And tonight, we get to cheer Brian as he's inducted into the Hall of Fame, and this award tonight can join those 6 Emmys. Brian, it's official. Tonight's the night. You are now inducted into the COS Hall of Fame. I am so, so proud of you.
Nancy and Brian, could you please join me up on stage so we can present this award to Brian? I also want to note that we have a table of COS art students that are also the founding members of I want to get this right, they're founding members of the Animation Production Club. And Brian, I know you got to meet some of them already. So let's go ahead and get this photo up, done right there. And you 2 have your award recognition.
Oh, what a wonderful evening. Thank you all for coming up and showing up for this. Oh, what an amazing night. Thank you very much for this honor. It truly humbles me. Thank you, Tim Foster and Megan, for all your hard work on keeping the COS Foundation at the forefront of this community. Thank you, President Brent Calvin, for your leadership on keeping COS one of the best community colleges in the state of California. I couldn't be happier for one of my high school classmates being at the helm and bestowing me with this great honor by including me into the COS Hall of Fame, where I get to be in the presence of my father, Gene Sheesley, Hall of Fame 2009, my uncle Dick Depker, Hall of Fame 2017, and my professor, Ralph Holman, Hall of Fame 2019. I wouldn't be honored here tonight if it weren't for the dedication from Nancy Morris Holman, as you just saw on the screen here. She's the one who's responsible for nominating me and keeping my name on the list. Thank you for all your kind words and positivity. I love you and Ralph dearly. with all of our hearts from the Sheesley family. Thank you, thank you. I can't believe it's been 5 years since our return to the Porter Field House from inducting my professor, Ralph Homan. Wow, 5 years. Oh, which reminds me, it's time to make a colonoscopy appointment. Note to self. Come on, 90% of this room knows what I'm talking about. Come on. Oh my gosh, I always wanted to say the word colonoscopy in an acceptance speech. Right now, half my family is laughing, where the other half are rolling their eyes, quietly thinking, oh God, he's going rogue again. Did he just say colonoscopy twice? And I say, no, I just said it a third time. Most of you here tonight know my parents, Gene and Annie Sheesley, whose commitment to education, Visalia, and the COS community has been their life's work. I'm sorry that they couldn't be here tonight, but when you reach your 90s, home and the doctor's office seems to be their main destinations these days. My brothers, Stephen and Scott, and I are very blessed to have been raised in a loving household of teachers, and that they are still with us today. We as parents always want the best for our kids, but we know the success that has been bestowed on each of us comes from a learned parent willing to listen and teach you right into the right path. And of course, that path includes College of the Sequoias. The Sheesley family and COS has some history together. My grandfather, Clayton Sheesley, taught agriculture engineering night classes out at the COS farm in the 1950s. My parents attended COS in 1953 and 1954, where my dad was the student body president in 1954. That year, my mom and dad put together a small committee together and traveled above 3 rivers and found the sequoia tree for artist Carol Barnes to carve the giant statue that still proudly stands in front of COS today. My brothers, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, wife, and I all attended COS or worked on the farm in the 1980s. Which brings me to my story and path. I went to Redwood High School while my dad was the principal of Mount Whitney, while my uncle was principal of Golden West, while my aunt was the art teacher at Lindsay High, and my future father-in-law was a math teacher at Redwood. I was surrounded by incredible educators. Apparently, teaching is in my blood. In 1985, I graduated from Redwood and naturally registered at COS in the fall to start my path on becoming a math or science teacher. Just one short month into the semester, I received a D on my first engineering calculus test. The worst grade I have ever received. Well, it looks like teaching wasn't in the cards for me after all. I sat down with my parents and told them I was quitting school for the year. This is not something you take lightly when you tell your father, the lifetime educator that he was, that I was quitting school because it was too hard. Today, I still remember his next 5 words that came from his mouth. Well, you're getting a job. So I became a florist for a year and realized that my hobby for drawing was turning more into a passion for art. My creative juices were flowing of my memories from my earlier art teachers, Del Alt and Ron Lloyd. In 1986, I re-registered at COS as an art student and studied under the head of the art department, Professor Ralph Homan. For the next 2 years, Ralph inspired me to take every art class and learn every medium COS had available to see which path I excelled at. He saw that I was great at illustrating cartoons, designing graphics, and had an appreciation for animation. Ralph and a COS dean told me about CalArts, the school that Walt Disney built. It's the best animation school in the world, and you should apply there. So I did, and to make a long story short, I got accepted, 3 years of intense training. After my second year, I got offered a Disney intern and a full-time job as a character designer and animator on a TV series named Family Dog with Steven Spielberg and Tim Burton. Let's just say I became the first CalArts animation student to turn down a Disney internship. 2 years later, I became one of the youngest TV directors in animation. 35 plus years later, fame, fortune, accolades. It's as easy as that. Whoa. Let's stop there and back up a bit. Back to the 80s at COS Community College, emphasis on community. It takes a village and opportunity and passion and work and dedication and compassion and friends and family and teachers who believe in you. COS is where I grew up as a person. Where else can you share life experiences from 18 to 80-year-olds? Everyone has a story. The journey of my career is what I've learned throughout my life from the people who have made a positive impression with the opportunities I have gracefully taken. Thank you to the College of Sequoias and its teachers for making me a better person in this world. I hope everyone can experience the positive, life-changing ideals that COS and its teachers inspired within me. And thank you to the community college system for instilling the California Promise program that helped my daughters at College of the Canyons and my nieces at Fresno City and Clovis Community. What a way to support the goals of a student and strengthen guidance pathways and encourage innovations for success. Some may say I live a life in a cartoon world. And let me tell you, life in a cartoon world and life in the real world are equally challenging. A continuous series of roller coaster rides that mentally challenge every creative decision I make. Thankfully, my wife Joni has been in my life since we were 12 years old. She knows and has seen the craziness that lives inside my head, along with the cruel side within the entertainment industry. With her loving heart and calming presence, she is the one who keeps me grounded, no matter what silly jokes I come up with. Thank you, my love. And to my daughters, Samantha and Jenna, for encouraging those silly jokes and making me one proud dad. Love you both. And to the table of art students tonight, continue to dream, work hard, be passionate, and follow your path. Remember, I am not famous. The characters I draw and create are far more famous than I am. I'm just a lucky kid from Visalia that had some talent and a whole lot of bunch of inspiring people that helped with my path. And thank you to all the tables of my family and friends who helped me get to this moment right now at the Porter Fieldhouse, being inducted into the COS Hall of Fame along with David and Jerry. It's quite an honor to accept on behalf of the Sheesley name. Thank you.
That was just wonderful. Thank you, Brian. Well, we are at our final inductee for this year. I'm so excited to introduce our next inductee. I gotta admit, it would have been a little awkward after March 5th if the election didn't go our way. But thankfully, thanks to the wisdom of our Fresno citizens, we can say that we still have a Mayor Dyer, and he had a decisive re-election victory, so congratulations. Mayor Dyer's prestigious law enforcement career started attending right here with our COS Police Academy. Tonight we do have some Academy members with us in the table over there. And so our Academy continues to train and develop some wonderful public servants, and so we appreciate them. One of Mayor Dyer's colleagues that of the hundreds of colleagues that he's had over his career is Thomas Wilson, and Thomas is the current COS Police Academy director. And he helped put this video together, and so we're going to go ahead and watch this brief video right now.
I'm thankful for this opportunity to pay tribute to a remarkable leader whose dedication and service have left an indelible mark on our communities. Jerry Dyer is a man of unwavering commitment and innovative vision. He has served as the Distinguished Police Chief of Fresno and now has taken the helm as its esteemed mayor. A College of the Sequoias Police Academy graduate of Class 40 in 1979, Dyer has had an outstanding career. As Police Chief of Fresno, Dyer modernized the police department. He implemented several cutting-edge technological advancements within the department, including upgrading communication systems and implementing data-driven strategies for crime prevention and response. Dyer enhanced community policing initiatives. He emphasized the importance of community engagement and established various programs to strengthen the relationship between law enforcement and the community. This included neighborhood watch programs, community outreach events, and partnerships with local non-government organizations to address specific community needs. Recognizing the intersection between mental health and law enforcement, Dyer advocated for increased access to mental health services for Fresno residents. He collaborated with local mental health organizations and implemented training programs for officers to better respond to situations involving individuals in crisis. Most importantly, Dyer reduced crime rates. Through innovative policing strategies and targeted enforcement efforts, he successfully reduced crime rates in Fresno during his tenure as police chief. This included initiatives focusing on addressing gang violence, property crimes, and drug-related offenses. By analyzing crime data and deploying resources strategically, Dyer and his team were able to make significant strides in improving public safety throughout the city. Jerry Dyer also served as the president of the California Police Chiefs Association. His leadership in this role allowed him to contribute to the advancement of law enforcement policies and practices throughout our great state. During his tenure as mayor, Dyer continues to focus on fostering economic development, growth, and revitalizing Fresno's economy. Dyer recognizes the urgency of addressing homelessness and housing affordability issues in Fresno. He collaborates with local nonprofits, governmental agencies, and stakeholders to develop comprehensive solutions, including the construction of affordable housing units, expansion of homeless shelters, and services, along with implementation of supportive housing programs. Dyer continues to prioritize public safety as mayor. He has implemented policies to enhance community policing efforts, improve emergency response times, and invest in public safety infrastructure. It is clear Jerry Dyer has a proven track record of success during his tenure as police chief and mayor of Fresno. He has a strong commitment to public service. He is an innovative leader and is dedicated to addressing the diverse needs of the community. Through his initiatives and collaborative approach, he has made significant contributions to enhancing public safety, fostering economic development, and improving overall quality of life. He has paved the way for a more vibrant and resilient Fresno for its residents and beyond. Jerry Dyer's legacy is defined by his profound commitment to serving others. He has been a steadfast champion for the people of Fresno, working tirelessly to address their needs and concerns with empathy and compassion.
Chief 1, log me off, please.
It is my honor to acknowledge this final log-off to the finest chief. Chief Dyer, your final log-off time is 10:58. Fresno went clear.
Thank you and God bless you.
So it is appropriate to celebrate not only Jerry's remarkable career, but also the enduring impact of his leadership on our community. His legacy will continue to inspire us all to strive for excellence, lead with integrity, and serve with compassion. Jerry, my friend, we've been crossing paths for many years, and it's just my honor to be here today to watch you get inducted into the COS Hall of Fame and to realize you're one of our Police Academy graduates as well. Congratulations on a job well done.
Tom, Jerry, can you join me up here on stage so we can present this commemorative plaque? It just worked out that way, I swear.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm deeply humbled after watching that video, Tom. Thank you very, very much for doing that, and for all of you this evening. It is an honor for me to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. This is the first Hall of Fame I've ever been inducted to, probably the last. So I do appreciate that very, very much. And it's an honor to be able to share this stage with two other individuals that really, quite frankly, I was in awe when I watched Coach Bronzan and all the accomplishments, state championships, and then to be on here with an Emmy award-winning our cartoonist, which is incredible. So incredible opportunity to be here today. So thank you for that. I'd like to, if I could, have my wife come up and stand with me, please. You know, aside every successful person in life is somebody that is there to support them, love them, encourage them, to not judge them. And for me, that person has been my wife. We've been together since we were freshmen in high school. And we have been together, in May 24th will be 44 years of marriage. And so it is because of this woman that I've been able to achieve some of the things that I've been able to. And the other is the relationship I have with my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. If it wasn't for that, I can tell you I would not be here where I am today. And I want to say thank you to COS for the recognition and the honor. It is always nice to be recognized, although we don't get into public service for that purpose. It is nice to be recognized. And my family is here today, along with my wife, Diane, my son, Jeremy, and his wife, Elise, my daughter, Janelle. Unfortunately, Corey is her husband. He's coming back from Sacramento right now. He's a police officer as well. And then my 5 incredibly beautiful grandchildren, Aiden, Declan, Sawyer, Trinity, and Charlotte. Thank you guys for being here. And I have some special people here from my office. I have my Chief of Staff here, Kelly Furtado. Thank you for all you do for me. Lieutenant Marcus Gray, who is with the Fresno Police Department. John Ellis, my Government Affairs Manager. Fabiola, you are the one that makes me look good on social media. She's my Assistant Director for Communications. Nico Madrigal from my Office of Community Affairs. And I want this guy to stand up because this is an incredible police chief, somebody I am fortunate to have as a police chief of Fresno, and that is Paco Valderrama. He did not attend COS. In fact, far from that, he came from Oklahoma City. So welcome. You know, people might ask, how did I get to COS? I'm a Fresno guy. Well, as luck would have it, the Fresno Police Academy at that time was decertified. And so really the only other academy within close proximity was COS. And I got to tell you today, as I look back, I thank God Fresno was decertified because I got to go to a first-class academy, an academy where the instructors cared about you. It was a professional academy, still is today. We still send our police officers to the COS Academy. We do Fresno and COS, but it is an academy that I've grown to appreciate. The things that I learned at COS can never be taken away from me. And number one is leadership. It taught me how to be a leader. And really it taught me the importance of discipline because you had to study a lot. And it taught me the importance of looking sharp. Because if you had a piece of thread hanging from your shirt, you were going to do a lot of push-ups. They called it Irish penance. And you had to do a lot of push-ups for that one string hanging from your shirt. And you had to shine your shoes, not once a week, but every single night. When I went to COS Academy, there were sticklers here. Sergeant Kunsel, as I remember, that name comes to haunt me. But he was the guy that was like on us all the time. Sergeant Taylor from Kingsburg, who was one of the instructors, incredible man. But the guy I remember the most is a guy named Andrew Duarte, Mr. Duarte. I don't know what his first name was because he wouldn't let us call him by his first name. I think it was Rudy. But here's a guy that taught me the most valuable lesson as a police officer. And it was about trust. You see, one day we had 2 weeks to go in the police academy. And he said, anybody that is willing to run from the academy, and I believe it was to the range, it was about 9.5 miles. If you run today during your lunch hour and shortly thereafter, you won't have to run in the academy for the last 2 weeks. Well, we were running a lot. And I said, I'm in, sign me up. I'll run this last time, 9.5 miles, I'm done. Well, come Monday, we went to the academy, to the range on Friday. Come Monday, everybody started running, and he said, Dyer, get in there. I said, no, I did the 9.5 miles. You said I didn't have to run the rest of the 2 weeks. He said, let that be a lesson. Don't trust anybody in law enforcement. Valuable lesson in law enforcement, not a valuable lesson in life. My career, I could not have predicted my career. To be able to come here as a young cadet, to be picked up by the Fresno Police Department in my 4th week here at COS, and then to be able to advance in the police department as an officer and a sergeant, working internal affairs, supervising the SWAT team, to be a lieutenant, a field commander, area commander, to promote to captain and deputy chief and assistant chief, and then to be able to serve 18 long years as a police chief in Fresno. It was something that I will always cherish, because I don't care what anyone says, the most noble profession today is that of a police officer. And so I want to say thank you to the cadets for what you're about to enter into. You are entering into a noble profession. So congratulations to you. And now to be able to serve as the mayor of Fresno, totally different. Let me tell you, politics isn't so noble. And what I've learned in the world of politics is the art of negotiating, the art of relationships and building those relationships. Much different than police work, where you tell people what to do and they listen. Well, that's not the way it is at City Hall, but it is that way in law enforcement. But I've learned to work with people and to be much more flexible. And so I want to leave you with this one thing that I think has helped me throughout my career to be successful. And that is, it's okay to think highly of the position you hold, but never think too highly of yourself in that position. That's the thing that has sustained me all these years. And I want to tell you, cadets, when you go out there on the streets and you put on that uniform and you have that bright, shiny badge, there's going to be a lot of temptations, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to use power. Wield that power wisely, and never think too highly of yourself, but think highly of the position you hold. Thank you for the honor tonight. God bless you.
Well, this was a real good restart of the COS Hall of Fame, don't you think? I had a few people in the mingle time ask me, well, why hasn't it's about time Coach Bronzan got inducted. I go, well, hey, he didn't retire until 2018. We already had a 2019 group picked, and we haven't had one of these since 2019. And so I'm so glad that we have it back. I think the three of you exemplify the type of inductees that we are looking for, people that are pillars in the community, pillars in their individual fields, and just an all-around great representation of what College of Sequoias has to offer people in a diverse amount of fields of study and career choices. There is a wealth, on that note, there's a wealth of COS history right here in this room. And so I am calling upon you to help us and remind us of who has come through COS, who has not been inducted into the COS Hall of Fame. In your programs tonight, there is a page dedicated to how you might present someone as a nomination for the COS Hall of Fame for future consideration. At the check-in table, there is a stack of blank nomination forms that you can take. If you're more of a pen and paper kind of person, please take one of those. And just please help us ensure that the Hall of Fame is always honoring the best examples of COS stories across a broad spectrum of diverse backgrounds, professions, and influences. I really appreciate you folks doing that for us. And thank you to all the inductees. We really appreciate the time. It takes a little effort to be an inducted member of the Hall of Fame. There's some homework to do, and we appreciate all of your grace in completing those tasks for us and allowing us to put on this event for you. That is it. But we do have some final words that I would like to ask our College of Sequoias Superintendent President, Dr. Calvin, to close the ceremony. Thank you so much for participating in this. Dr. Calvin.
Thank you, Tim. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brent Calvin, and I consider myself the luckiest man in just about any room because I get to serve as the CEO and president here in my hometown at my alma mater and represent somewhere close to 16,000 students, 800 employees, a fabulous board of trustees, and all of you, our wonderful community. Just a blessing in my life. You know, Tim normally gives me my choice of either opening these types of ceremonies or closing them, and tonight we went with the closing, and I'm so glad he did, because I'm sitting at my table and I'm just swelling up with pride that we have 3 inductees that are representing the orange and blue like these three inductees. Just amazing, amazing. And I wanted an opportunity just to comment on each of them. Chief Dyer, I know it's Mayor Dyer, but you'll always be Chief Dyer to us. You've been such an amazing ambassador, not only for the College of the Sequoias, but also law enforcement, now public administration, and really just for our entire region. You've stood up for this region long before it became a popular thing to do, and we appreciate you very much. Thank you and congratulations. Coach Bronzan, you know, we've only worked together for a quarter century, and he's just an amazing guy. Long overdue, I might add. We've had hundreds, thousands maybe, coaches in our 100-year history, and none of them have been any more committed, any more dedicated, or unselfish to the level that Dave is. He would do anything for students or for this institution. And yet, if not for an event like tonight, none of us would ever know that because the guy is so humble, just an amazing family man and committed to the college, and just proud to call you a friend and so thankful that you're a COS Giant. Thank you, Coach Bronzan. And then finally, to my long-time friend and classmate, Brian Sheesley. Man, we knew 40 years ago how talented this guy was, but he's taken his God-given ability and added hard work and perseverance and a desire really to share his gifts with the world and done things that none of us could have anticipated. Unbelievable. I just had goosebumps, chills, watching those videos to know that this was my buddy from junior high school, and he's doing these amazing, amazing things. Hats off to you, my friend, and continued success. We're so very proud of you. And again, so proud that you're representing the COS Giants. Thank you very much. And then a couple groups of folks that I would like to thank. The College of the Sequoias is rolling. There's no other way to put it. We are rolling, and it's because of all the people here. Again, faculty, staff, administrators, top notch. You're not going to find any in our 115 college system that are better than what we have here at the College of the Sequoias. And we're blessed to have a fabulous board of trustees. If you haven't heard, you're hearing it now. We have a fabulous board of trustees, and tonight we're joined by our board president, Mr. Raymond Macareno, and our board vice president, Mr. Ken Nunes. Thank you both for being here. We also have a fabulous foundation. Tim Foster gets a lot of the credit because he's out on the front lines as our director and does a phenomenal job. He's joined by Kennetha and Peyton, full-time staff. And it's a small team, but it's a mighty team. And then they pluck off volunteers tonight. My administrative assistant, Megan Tierce, is helping them out. And I know Carter Glick is back there as well. Just do a fabulous, fabulous job. Not only with events like this, but coming alongside all of our programs, we try to do everything at a really high level. So whether it's academics, the CTE side, the transfer side, whether it's athletics, whether it's the fine arts, whether it's our facilities, whether it's whatever, food services. We're trying to do everything at a very high level, but it takes great people like we have in the foundation, and they're led by a fabulous board as well, and we're joined by their president, Alexis Silveria, as well as their vice president, whom you met earlier, Mr. Josh McDonald. Thank you very much for your support. But finally, I want to thank all of you. because you really put the community in community college. None of this really matters if we don't have a community that stands up and supports us like you all do. I want to just thank you. It's been a blessing to have you all here tonight. It's been fun, and we're glad you were here to share it with us. So, as we like to say in Giant Country, it's another great day to be a giant. Thank you all. Thank you for coming, and good night.